Well. As you can tell, Chaz is not here. He is at a hiya karate tournament. So anyway, what does that mean? That means that Red Dog is taking over. So how does this work out today? Well, we're gonna talk about it. So is WWE mismanaging Ray Phoenix's potential? We shall find out. We want to talk about TKO. Are they doing better or worse, or about as expected? And then finally, we have a third debate topic. You guys can find that out when we drop it so that you guys can be surprised. So that'll happen. Also, we got temp check. Also, we got, you know, uh Barry and Push. Also, we have Damien's dumbass of the week because, we are gonna be doing that. So in the meantime, between time, you guys hang in there, watch this intro, like it, share this with your friends, tell all your people about us because we want to hear more about from you guys. So yeah, drop it in. Here we go. Red Dog and Friends.
The following program is a collection of idiots talking about happenings in the sports entertainment world. It is meant to be comedically informative. The opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their bosses, platform, or whatever network they are on. There may be some out-of-pocket things said on this show, because this is how we talk to each other. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further. Your homies. The 3 Count Podcast. P.S. Please do not sue us.
Hit him with a 3 count. Pin him to the ground and the crowd go wild, man down, no way out.
It's not even this show today. That's right. Hi, it's your friendly neighborhood Red Dog, and this is Red Dog and Friends.
I am the champion, Red Dog, hear my call.
The following program is a collection.
Whoa. We don't need another intro all over again. We already got one. What we do need though is we need bam, the banner. Yeah, that's right. The same thing you just heard at the beginning. Now you get to hear it now. So, what does that mean? Well, it is the Air Force Veteran Intel Specialist, the one you call on when you need to get a job done, and your friendly neighborhood Red Dog. And this is Red Dog and Friends. So, as you can see, there's only 2 of us. So that means that my best friend is sitting right there. That's right. The only Graves that matters because Corey Graves is on NXT, which means he is in developmental. So, and it's all thanks to this man right here. Give it up to my friend Twitch Graves.
I'm just saying I had nothing to do with him being put on developmental programming, but he's lucky he's there and not where I would have put him.
Where would you have put him?
In the ground. Fuck him for life.
6 feet Graves. That's what you get.
It's all for you.
Yo, so like always, we want you guys to go through, check all of our social media platforms at 3 Count Pod. Go check us out on X, Twitter, the Bird app, whatever you want to call it, 3 Count Pod _. Check out our merch on foryourwear.com, also on prowrestlingtees.com. So if you didn't know, they're both available. You guys can go through, check all that out. And then also, like our stuff on Spotify, listen to us on Amazon Music, listen to us on that dumb app with this stupid jingle that goes, iHeartRadio, or whatever it is. But hopefully you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you're not, you should be. Like right now, subscribe to it. And also follow us on Facebook and all that other great stuff that you would do. And then tell your mom about us, your dad about us, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your best friends, your cousins, and your enemies, because we love haters too. Do all that stuff. And yeah, let's start this off. Let's kick this off with a somber note. I know that we have a few people who pay attention to the show a lot. And I kind of wanted to give some updates, right? So, as you guys know, we have a 5th member who sporadically comes on the show, Anthony, aka El Diabito. That's the guy. That's his nickname, not mine. I may have given him that nickname, but he has been running with it for a while. So want to give you guys an update. Anthony was moving from Lincoln to Denver, and stopping at North Platte, he actually had he thought he was having a heart attack, and so he goes to the hospital. He gets checked out. They were gonna write him. They told him that he was just having a panic attack. He said something was actually really wrong. He didn't know what was going on, and he was having a aortic dissection. So essentially, what that means is that the valve in his heart was peeling back like an onion. They flew him flight for life. He's actually in Denver right now, and he's kind of up and down. Like, so he's been doing better some days. Some days he wasn't. They had thought they were gonna get him out of the ICU in a week, and then he was supposed to be spending like the next 6 to 8 weeks with no stress. But it does not look like that is happening right now. So if you guys could send your thoughts, send your prayers, send your love, just positive energy over to Anthony, and just give him all that, because he does a lot. He's one of those guys that like gives a lot to a lot of people. I don't think people realize like how much he does with like military members and wounded warriors, and not just wounded warriors, but he's got his own program that goes on. He's been trying to do his own thing. So it's really hard to see like bad things happen to good people, because Anthony has come such a long ways. I've known him since 1997, so I've literally watched this man grow up in front of me and just become the awesome human being that he is, right? So he was only like a few credits shy of graduating high school. They told him that they were going to graduate him. He actually dropped out of high school and got his GED faster than he would have got his diploma, which was crazy. And then he joined the military. He's a veteran. He did a tour in Iraq. He's one of those guys that like you couldn't write a better story of a person who was written off and just kept coming back and just kept fighting back. So, want you guys to kind of reach out to him. Like I said, just send just send your positive energy to him. Anthony, we love you. We're thinking about you, man. We're always in your corner, man. We want you to fight you, because we want you back here on this podcast so that I can keep making fun of you, because that's what I do. And I was one of his groomsmen at his wedding, and I couldn't be there because of COVID, and so he asked me if I could send him a video doing a speech, and I did. It was hilarious. A lot of people loved it. I was talking about Anthony and about just our journey, just how we have literally done everything from cry together to fight together to fight against each other numerous times. So I love this man to death. So he just stays in my heart the whole time. So if you guys could, make sure to send him your thoughts as well.
Shout out to Anthony, man. We hope you pull through this, man.
Yeah, big deal, big things. Um, I did want to start the show kind of differently though, because I kind of feel like y'all don't get the opportunity to vote for dumbass of the week, because we always put it as our third segment, and then we go into our third topic, and then we go into. So what we're gonna do, because he's not here and he can't say anything about it, is go here.
Is Damien's dumb ass of the week.
Yeah. So we're gonna start this off. Damien is gonna be number one on this list because he's actually on the show.
Damien Fatal.
Damien
I nominate you.
is on this list. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and just put I'm gonna put Tony Khan on here too as well.
I got one.
Who you want to put?
I will put Hulk Hogan on here for
Hulk
trying
Hogan.
to buy Hooters intellectual properties.
You know what? I don't dislike that one. I'm here with that one. Yeah, Tony. There was the whole thing. Mina came back to AEW. They gave her new music, and the fans trashed it. And then he went online to see how the response was, and a bunch of fans were like, "Yo, we like her old music." And he responded. He was like, "Changing it back next week."
I saw this.
How did we just not think like, hey man, fans won't really notice. Like, no, they noticed. Like, it just bugs me, because it's like it's the same thing like when VKM was in the E, right? And he was just like, nah, just go out there and do this. The fans don't care. They're not gonna know. They don't know. They're stupid. And like, they remember. Like fans remember, and that's the problem. That's why Kevin Owens' character hits so well with fans because he was the only one that was like, "What the hell is this?" And I look at it now. I'm just like, bro, come on, man. Like, what are we really doing here?
Kevin Owens doesn't forget.
He doesn't forget, and the fans understand that, and they fuck with that, and that's why I like it. Especially remember like Elias and Eli.
Bro, that was the greatest segment for weeks.
Yes. I was like, damn. We need a third person, so we got Damien, we got Tony, we got Hulk. Who else we want to throw in that list right quick?
Well, that's three right there.
Yeah, I want to do
Uh,
one more.
do one more.
Yeah. Anybody else really said anything stupid?
IWC.
I mean, I guess we could always. That's kind of a cop. I mean, we could always do like the minority of the IWC. Um, we could. You know what? We're gonna do Dominic Mysterio, and here's why. How the fuck you not know about time zones?
You know what? To be completely fair, and I'm going to take up for Dom on this. There are certain states that don't acknowledge time zones. So maybe,
Right.
perhaps, somehow, some way he lived there and didn't know that they existed.
No,
Okay, it's not working. Just go ahead and
it's
put them
not,
on.
man. Because that man's like, what? I just talked to Liv, and she said good morning, but it's nighttime. Like, she's on the other side of the world, bro.
Oh my god.
But then, like the fact that Judgment Day was trying to explain it with the skull and the light, and they're like rotating around. I was like, bruh, I'm gonna laugh the day that Dominic pops up and says, like, no, I believe in a flat Earth, though. Like, it just makes me.
Bro.
I'm gonna be.
Oh
I'm
my god.
dead. I'm gonna be dead. I'm gonna be like, yes,
Automatic heal.
Dominic, the ultimate troll.
Well, that's exactly it. The ultimate troll.
Yep. So there you go. That's who your top your picks are going to be: Damien, Tony Khan, Hulk Hogan, or Dominic Mysterio. So those are you guys' picks. We're gonna go from there. I'm posting it up right now. So you guys go through, make your selections, and then at the end of the show, we will read who won. So giving you guys a lot more time. We just want to see something different and see if this is gonna work or not, because we understand that you guys aren't really able to you know tune in. So we're gonna go hit that. So let's get into our first debate topic, which is gonna be one that I think a lot of people are gonna be kind of interested in because we're talking about a certain luchador. It is about Ray Phoenix. So the current debate topic is WWE mismanaging Ray Phoenix's potential? So it's been rumored that ever since he came in, that WWE doesn't know what they're doing with him, and they're just kind of fumbling the bag, and we're just seeing him not really be any kind of success that he was in previous companies. So Twitch, take the realms and let us know what you think.
I So I agree and I disagree. In. I don't think they're intentionally doing this. I feel like this is a case of we know him and Penta as a tag team. We know that they thrive as a tag team. I feel like this is a case of we want you to be a single star, but have the ability of a tag team star, or like have the presence that you get from those two as a tag team star. Uh, I feel like this is just a case of we we're happy you're here. We know what you're doing. We know what you can do, but we don't know how to get you there as a single star, and we don't want to make you a tag team star right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree to that. I agree with that. I think my problem is that I don't know, it's weird because like there's so much happening in WWE right now, especially on SmackDown, that it's hard for, and maybe that's what they realized, it's hard for Ray to be able to stand out because like you have so much happening with Cena going on right now. Ray shows up, then you wanted to have him kind of like run with Rey Mysterio for a little bit. Dragon Lee's still around, and we're not really utilizing that man either. There's stuff going on with the TLC, right? With the tag titles going on. Now you have Axiom, Faxiom lighting it up.
Yeah.
The women's championship, like Tiffany's doing her thing with Nia Jax. Like, there's so much happening in SmackDown that Ray is just kind of getting lost in the shuffle. So it's really not like his fault, right? That he's getting lost. It's just that there's so many bigger stories that are happening right now. And you can't really focus on Ray. So I think the best thing to do is to get Ray off of like SmackDown and move him to Raw, and then have him tag. And I know like it's a cop answer, but let's be real, man. We love the Lucha Bros. We don't care where they are, whether they're in TNA, Impact, AEW, the E. We don't care. We want to see them together.
I
And
kind of care if they're in AEW, but
I thought they had killer matches in AEW. I don't really. I mean,
I thought they had killer matches in AEW. I just feel like they were. I don't want to say lost in the shuffle, but I feel like this was a case of Tony Khan got a shiny new toy, and then he just ran its course with it, and it just became repetitive after repetitive after
yep.
repetitive.
Well, and the problem too was that, especially with that tag division, man, when you have the Bucks and you have FTR, you have the Lucha Bros, proud and powerful at the time, right? You have all these. You literally were making a company about great tag team wrestling, and now you got away from great tag team wrestling. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, you get a tag team match, especially when you brought in the trios titles, and like now, like the trio titles really don't kind of mean anything. Like, it's just there's so much happening, and like now it's like, well, what are we doing? I So bring it back to the point though. I kind of I don't really know if I would call it a mismanagement of Ray Phoenix. I think I would more look at the lines of like, damn, it's crazy how Ray is like he. I mean, let's be real. Like, if it wasn't for, uh, you know, Rey Mysterio like having his his abductor injury, uh, yeah, Ray Phoenix wouldn't have even been at WrestleMania. He wouldn't have debuted there, and he got the opportunity, and he got to wrestle, Chad Gable or El Grande Americano.
God,
But he got to work. He got to work at WrestleMania, so
yeah.
it was a lucky break for him. But it kind of fell in his direction. So we'll see. Um, I still kind of want to give it a couple more months just to kind of like let it go. But as of right now, I don't know if I would totally agree that they've kind of mismanaged him. But I do understand with so much happening in SmackDown, like I was saying, um,
It's
you might want to
you're
just
you're
move.
running out of days for John Cena to be there, so your main focus is going to be that,
Yeah,
regardless of anything. You have the women's U.S. title that you're responsible for. I partially understand him getting lost in the shuffle, but like you said, to agree with you, send him to Raw, let him tag with Penta, or bring Penta to SmackDown. Let them tag with each other
yeah.
instead of just letting this guy, what eventually will become him, floundering to fucking obscurity. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and that's the problem though, is that we want to see success for everybody whenever they go into the E, right? And I think Ray just kind of get lost in the shuffle, and I think Penta had like the better debut because obviously like he got the flashy entrance and stuff like that on Raw. He got the debut on Netflix on Raw,
to
like
be fair though, Ray Phoenix never really had a flashy entrance.
right.
AEW, he didn't have one. AAA, he didn't have. He's never been a flashy entrance guy.
I'm just saying though, like when I think about it, like he kind of Penta got the red carpet rolled out for him,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
whereas Ray really kind of didn't get that same opportunity. You know what I mean? That's what I kind of mean by it. I mean, he had great matches, and he still has great matches. I don't want to take that away, right?
Do
It's
you
just that
think?
go
Do
ahead.
you think that has to do with Penta being the bigger star?
Yeah, probably. He's the more consistent worker. Like as if you
Yeah.
look at it through AEW, like outside of Penta, what was it? Outside of Penta's, like Penta never really missed like time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
To where
Ray,
Ray Phoenix lost almost a year and a half.
yeah, like he had busted ankle, busted arm, visa
Blew his
issue,
arm apart.
blew his arm apart. That was crazy. I'll still never
Yeah.
forget that.
Never.
And even like Penta had his bicep torn in half. Like he's still like, he was still like working, which is weird. But no, I just think that to be fair, uh, I think it'd be a good move to have Ray Phoenix moved over
Okay.
to Raw and have him tag up, and then eventually, they can kind of split, do their own thing, do their singles run, and you can have two like big luchadors like kind of run all over Raw, and then hopefully you can move him back to SmackDown once John Cena leaves. I think that's really what it is. It's just John Cena.
I don't want to interrupt this lovely discussion we are having about this.
Mm-hmm.
I have some breaking news. Shout out to Darby Allin. He has officially made it to the summit of Mount Everest.
Yeah, big shout outs to Darby, make it to the summit. So now he's got to make it back down.
That's the hard part.
That's the hard.
Anywho, back to that. Just literally came across my Twitter feed. Like,
Well, let's get over to one of our favorite segments, which is what we like to call temp check,
okay,
like this, temp check. So, what is temp check? We're gonna talk about our hottest or coldest and our match of the week. So, Damien's not here. Twitch,
hey,
what you got?
my match of the week is not a match. It is a segment, and it comes from Monday Night Raw between one Mr. Paul Heyman and Jey Uso. Because holy shit, we know that Paul Heyman is a phenomenal speaker, but good lord, that was fire. That's all I can say about it. That was pure fire. The way he was screaming at Jey Uso and just, I thought his neck was going to explode because his veins kept coming in and out. Like, oh man, calm down.
Oh, you talking about the segment with last week's segment with those two,
Was
right?
that last week?
Yeah, because this
I
week
thought that was Monday.
didn't that start off? No, because I thought Raw started off with CM Punk calling.
Oh fuck! I am. Oh,
I mean, no, that segment was still good. Let's be fair. Like that's still a good segment. And we can definitely put it on there. But I was like, yeah, no. Raw this week started with CM Punk referring to. He referred to Paul Heyman as Penguin.
yes, he did.
Which I was
Wow.
like, I'm all about that life.
Okay, well, Paul Heyman from 2 weeks ago is still my match of the week this week.
Hey, and that'll work. I'll take that. I'll take that.
My hottest, and if Mr. Golden is watching this, it's probably going to piss him off. Nia Jax. The way her fucking face exploded from that drop kick from that chair.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah.
My coldest of the week. Solo.
Yeah.
I understand with JC Mateo, Jeff Cobbs, whatever you guys know him as. I understand you're trying to promote him and help build him up. You did absolutely none of that. You focused all on Jacob, and I understand that this is probably how we're going to get Solo versus Jacob. But you had that man Jeff Cobb just standing there looking dumb as fuck. I would have liked to have seen him hype up Jeff Cobbs, like I said, JC Mateo in WWE, a little bit more instead of focusing on Jacob.
I like it. And then what's your match of the week? Oh no, you said your segment. So then
It's still Paul Heyman from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I got you. All right. So let me go like this. So I want to go from 2 weeks ago too. I want to put a segment out. So it's not really a segment. I want to touch on this because I thought this was cool. Aleister Black and Carmelo Hayes last week.
That was
banger. And I just love the fact that Miz keeps eating the Black Mass and just going down.
I like the one last week better than I like the one this week.
Yeah, this is true. I'm gonna say my match of the week is actually I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Carmelo Hayes and Aleister Black this week. 'Cause I like it. I know it was a DQ. I know, but I liked it. I liked where we were going with it.
I feel like that's the part that took away from me was the DQ victory.
Yeah, yeah, but
I,
they're
I
gonna. It's leading somewhere, and I'm
it,
here
it
for it.
totally is. It totally is.
I'm here for it. Also, I hope throw 1B in there too with Alexa Bliss qualifying for Money in the Bank
Oh yeah, yeah.
because that happened. And you know what's also I like though? I like this little angle that she's got going on with Charlotte, where she's like, "Yo, did you think about what we talked about last week?" And she was like, "I thought about it." And then she was like, "I don't need your help." And then she kind of pushed off, and then I was like, "Bruh, please, can I get the Y6 back? Can I get the Y6 back with?"
From nope, not from what I've seen. All their plans have been scrapped
I
recently.
know, I'm so upset because I'm like, bro, I need them back. Get them back. I will say though that my hottest wrestler of the week though for this week is probably going to be JC Mateo. Like it's got to be Cobb. Like just my man wouldn't even dress to wrestle. He just walked out there and beat the dog piss out of LA Knight.
He did. That tour of the Island Power Slam is dope as shit looking too.
It's so cool. And then like the fact that this man like this is okay, so this is a thing I'm having a problem with in wrestling right now. Everybody hitting the fucking moonsault. And like
Yeah,
it doesn't mean anything anymore. Like it used to be so cool, right? But like Fatu does it, Stratton does it, Io Sky does it, Cobb does it. Like everybody hits Montez Ford. Everybody hits a moonsault now, bro. Like I'm like that's we're not even talking anymore about these matches.
it's the new super kick.
I'm just waiting for John Cena to hit a moonsault because that shit would be funny. Um, yeah. So my match week, hottest wrestler, my coldest one. I kind of have to agree with Solo because like he's kind of faded off. He's not really doing much of anything, and I don't feel bad. I
I
don't
mean,
feel bad at all.
he did just qualify for Money in the Bank.
Nah, I don't really care.
He said, "I don't even care."
I don't really care. I think I mean like at this point in time, like cool, whatever. Like I just meh. If there's gonna be one person I can guarantee is not winning Money in the Bank, it's him.
Yeah,
So sorry, Solo. I know you're gonna be out here.
you are the new Kane spot.
Yeah, you are. You're gonna be out here talking about. I
Here's
didn't
Money
like.
in the Bank.
I also didn't like that segment where he was like, "Nah, man, tell me that you love me like you used to. Like you don't even say it the way you say it anymore." Yeah, man. Cool.
I
Like
love, I love you,
I love you,
Solo.
Solo. Nah, bro, say it like you meant it, like you said it before. Blah 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 blah. I was like, shut up.
I bet
Ugh.
he can hit one though. What?
What is Chaz talking about? I bet he can hit one. What?
Oh, he talking about JC Mateo doing a moonsault.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, oh, we're talking about John Cena because I said I can't wait to see that John Cena hits a moonsault. So he's like,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, Cena. That's what he's talking about. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt that. Cena hits a moonsault in this next match that he's in with R-Truth. Which, by the way, let's give props. R-Truth is battling for a championship.
A
And
world
I'm here
heavyweight title.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Just so happens to be against Cena again. So let's jump into another segment of ours that we love to do because we already did temp check chat, so you need to go out there and vote. Here we go. Pushing Barry. What you pushing first?
What am I pushing first? Aleister Black.
Mm, I
That
like it.
that that debut, all the way up to what we have had now. The match with the Miz was awesome. The
Hmm.
two matches with Carmelo Hayes was awesome. Like I said, this week's one I'd have rather not had the DQ victory, but like we said, I understand it. It is leading somewhere, and I know where it's leading. Uh Barry. Who am I burying this week? I don't know. Who you pushing?
I'm pushing Rusev. So who's
Okay.
the other new guy?
Okay.
Yeah, I like the fact that we're going with Rusev about being the fixer and the redeemer, right? We're getting that aspect of it where he really gets to come back and he's helping people reach their potential by breaking them. So I really like this aspect of it. So yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. So I'm like, I'm good. Chaz writes that he wants to bury Anarchy in the arena matches. It's overdone outlaw BS. Also, Ed says that his coldest wrestler is Jimmy Uso, so that's interesting to see. Um, I'm gonna be fair, man. I think if I'm gonna bury something, right, I'm gonna bury fans saying what? Like, I'm done.
What?
I'm done. I'm
What?
done. I'm done. I'm done with it all.
What?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take that route. I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm done with it because, like,
So
go
so
ahead.
what is it about what that
It's,
that
like it's been over 20 years, man.
uh
Like, we have so many other things that we could be yelling at the wrestlers. Like, I'm kind of over it. Stone Cold's not around. It's only cool when Stone Cold is in the building doing it. That's the only time that I like the what chant. I'm done with it. I'm done with it now. Like,
you know what I'm over and he's still around?
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
We could,
I I hate the yeah chant.
yeah.
I absolutely hate it. Uh my Barry was literally just on the tip of my tongue reading Chaz's Barry Anarchy in the Arena, and now I done forgot it.
Oh,
Oh, oh, I remembered now. My Barry is Hangman Adam Page, and that
please.
retarded fucking hair that you have going right now, and everything about your facial expressions, and you look like a failed 70s porn star. Get back to cowboy shit.
I mean, I'll be real. There was a small period of time where I was fucking with Hangman. And I was like, yeah, I like what Hangman's doing. But I'm gonna be real. 99% of the time, not here. Not
I
here.
want I want Hangman Page that we got in New Japan Pro Wrestling when you were a part of Bullet Club, not this little crybaby bitch that we have now.
Yeah. Chaz has a good point too. This is a good one too. Bury all of Caribbean wrestling. All Caribbean wrestling. If you guys didn't know, there's been like a lot of stuff coming out about ACW as well as JB. Uh, yeah, you just gotta go read. It's a crazy read. It's a crazy thing to see, especially with all the workers. A bunch of them who have actually been on this show. So I'm with them. Make it easy. You can't call people bitches and hoes and sluts and then try to go up and try to sneak into people's uh you know hotel rooms and just make yourself welcome. Like, it's not okay. I don't in any case. Allegedly. In any case. Also, disclaimer at the bottom. So, there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Push Cross bury the women's tag division. Actually, I wouldn't bury the women's tag division, but I definitely would push Cross. Like, that man is starting to get over more and more on main event. And yeah, that shit was crazy. Like, to hear the crowd pop as loud as they did for him when he hit that frog splash, I was like, "What the hell?"
Bro, if anybody is over and not getting utilized, it is that man right there.
Yeah, yep,
Push Karrion Cross to the goddamn moon and back.
dog. That whole thing he did after WrestleMania has been like it was great, and then to see him continuing to the crowd continue to get behind him, like the crowd gets it. Like the crowd, like if you don't think so, it's crazy, but the crowd understands what's happening, and that is why they're pushing for Cross. And it's gonna be a thing. WWE is gonna try to ignore it, and the more you ignore it, the more the crowd's gonna get behind Cross. And maybe that's the plan. Maybe that was the plan the whole time.
We've seen this happen.
We've seen this happen numerous times, right? Kofi Mania, Daniel Bryan. right? We've seen this happen time and time and time again, that they go and ignore somebody, and then guess what happens? Then it becomes way too much of a movement. And I wouldn't be surprised, man, if fucking all of a sudden randomly just throughout Raw or SmackDown, the crowd just starts yelling TikTok, and he's not even on the show.
Yep.
Like, I'll be fair. He was talking about in WWE, that is, to be fair. Yeah, so over at ACW, to touch back, tried to leave them stranded, like, numerous times on the islands. It was not cool. And then, yes, the push cross. All right, so we talked about, you know, we talked about the E, right? We talked about WWE and Ray Phoenix. So let's talk about this, though. So we're going to move to the second debate topic. Chaz, by the way, we changed it. Uh, because we were like, yeah, we don't really. I'm gonna be
Audible.
fair. I'm gonna be fair. Don't really care about, like. Listen, Gabe Kidd is a talent, right? In New Japan. I don't really care about him with the Death Riders. I don't. I don't care
It's
enough.
an awkward decision. Like
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
it, I don't see it working out. But it's Tony Khan. What can you expect?
Hopefully he can get over organically. I think that's what we're seeing right now.
He
Is that
already is.
he's already over? Like he's gaining more momentum. Like we're seeing this man like
Go
take
watch.
over.
Go watch the reception he got at GCW's Bloodsport over WrestleMania weekend, and
Well, and go ahead. Go ahead.
tell me that's not organic.
And that's in Vegas. That's in Vegas. I'll be fair, right? I'll give WWE this. You're in Vegas. You do GCW. You do Bloodsport. You're in SmackDown. Yep, you're in Vegas. You're at WrestleMania. You're in Vegas. But now you can't ignore him when he's on main event and he's getting loud of pop and he's losing. And then he comes back. He wins another match and then the crowd pops, right? Like at this point in time, man, like the momentum is growing, and everybody saw that video, what he did, what he said, you know, and and he got his merch pushed across, and
Yeah,
because the fans were asking for it, they wanted it now versus they didn't want to wait, so now they're gonna sell his t-shirts, and now you're about to see all that happen, so it's gonna be crazy, man. So that's the thing. So with that being said, because it's funny how we're talking about WWE and their overlords, so let's talk about it. TKO. Is TKO doing better or worse than we expected with WWE? So, you know, Twitch, you had a lot on your heart about this topic, man. So go ahead.
I I feel like they're trying to make it too much like the UFC. I understand that bring in all the sponsors you can, but that doesn't mean that you need to bring in every celebrity humanly possible. You don't need to bring in every comedian humanly possible, musicians, whatever the fuck it is. Like you see that a lot of like you don't see them in the cage fighting. Thank God, but you see a lot of it at like UFC. It's like, oh, look who's in attendance. It's this guy. It's this guy. It's this guy. I don't think they're doing bad. I don't think they're doing great. I think they need to stop focusing on celebrity appearances and start working more towards like wrestling.
Mm.
Uh, I, I, I don't even know how to word what I'm trying to say. Uh, it feels so. I don't want to call it gimmicky, but it with all the sponsors over the mats and stuff like it just feels so like forced. Like we're talking about a carrying cross happening organically. I feel like TKO needs to like bring the reins in a little bit and let like the people working creative have their creative opinions and deal with it. Like let the people in the core of WWE handle what they know how to handle. You're you're just a corporation that bought this company. Like I don't think maybe you do, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think you have WWE's wrestling interest in mind as much as you have their money interest in mind.
I feel where you're coming from. I understand. I don't mind. I don't mind if the product placement makes sense, right? Like, I don't need a big ass logo in the middle of the ring, right? I don't really care. Like, it was cool for Prime, right? Because it made sense. Logan Paul's in the company, he's kind of like pushing his product, like whatever. Now he's got his own giant tub out on the side. I don't really need the big logos on the outside. I can handle the turnbuckles, right? There's minor. It's just
Yeah,
stuff there. And I feel like that's how like UFC does it too. I mean, outside of like the big logos that you see on the outside of the center of the ring, I feel like the center of the ring should stay completely bare. I mean, if you wanted to put logos like underneath the ring post, cool with that too. I just don't think like in the UFC, clearly the thing that they want you to notice is the
it's their
UFC.
sponsors.
Yeah, they want you to see the UFC logo, and then the sponsors stay on the outside. So that's what's in the center of the ring.
Yeah,
Because what should be in the center of the ring shouldn't be a distraction to what's happening for the action, right? That's where my point is to going with it. Um, but I don't mind seeing the turnbuckles with something other than WWE logos on there. I
I
understand.
would that I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. And I think if I saw like logos underneath the turnbuckles, I don't mind that. Just as long as it's on the outside of the center of the ring, if that makes
Yeah,
sense. I
no, I
think I
get
don't
it.
have a problem with that. I don't really have a problem with the celebrity appearances. I don't think I have a problem with that at all. I mean, I do. Andrew Schultz being there like was hilarious, right? But he had some ties to New York City and he had some ties to Logan Paul. I think Vanessa Hudgens being there was not a bad move, right? Especially they found someone who naturally just likes wrestling, and as of like Macaulay Culkin being there too. Like I thought those were kind of fun appearances, especially as a wrestling fan. If you know that like Vanessa was kind of a surprise. I bring up her specifically because I was just kind of surprised to see her, but seeing Macaulay Culkin there, knowing that Macaulay was like a WWE fan, like knowing he's a WWE fan, that was cool. And then to see who's in Topanga, right? Danielle Fisher was there at Netflix debut. So to see certain
I,
people, I kind of like that idea of like, hey, these are people who had genuine interest versus like we paid this person to be here, which I'm sure they paid those people to be there, but they just understood like, hey, these are wrestling fans, so we're
yeah,
just gonna let them hang and bang.
I
Um,
I get like singling them out in the crowd. I guess it's more so like the involvement, and I get it. You want to have that and get you want like the comments have said, you want to have that fan engagement to make it more mainstream than it already is. I just I don't I don't need a celebrity appearance with in ring action every other week, and that feels like what I'm getting.
Well, and I can understand your point because like even for like the UFC, right? Like you don't see like Tough Enough, right? Like Tough Enough is a show that comes on every week. You don't see celebrities appearing every week
Yeah,
at those shows, but you do see them at the fights, and I do agree that I do like seeing that aspect of it. So if it's like a PLE and you have fans, like you have celebrities in the watching as fans, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. I guess I also agree with you. I don't like seeing them all the time on Raw, and I don't like seeing them all the time on SmackDown. But if they popped up every so often, like at the PLEs, I definitely would be. I wouldn't be objective or big shows, right? So like Saturday Night Main Event, I would have a whole problem with that. So I think I feel where you're coming from. So I don't have a problem with that. Um, I think my problem, is that, and you made this point, and I'm just gonna touch on it more, is that we're dealing with a corporation who wants to exploit the loyalty of the fans, right? Because what we're not talking about is that the ticket sales are continuing to rise at an enormous rate. Um, and like it's getting to the point where pretty much you're outpricing people. And I'm sure you can go out of your way and call it a spectacle. Like WrestleMania would make sense, right? Because essentially that's the Super Bowl of like professional wrestling. We can all agree to that. And but I think some of these PLE events, like it's not. I get it's something different from what like other sports have, but to the extreme of what is happening, man. I just don't like the aspect of ticket sales going through, t-shirt sales going through, right? And I know you got to pay everybody, right? You got to pay the wrestlers, but you're cutting a bunch of these wrestlers too because they're not you're not having them on TV, so they're not worth the money that you're paying them to have them on shows. I just don't think that you need to be continuing to raise the price to outprice the average person who wants to be there and enjoy their favorite wrestlers, especially when you're traveling to those cities and you're not traveling there all the time. Like, I don't think John Cena's tour is going into Denver, Colorado, and I know fans would just go ape shit to see John Cena there, right? Like, his tour's coming up. Like, let's be real, and his last match has already been announced to be in Boston, Massachusetts. So,
Here,
what do
here's
you?
a here's a perfect example of what you're getting into. Saturday night main event tickets is what I'm
Mhm.
looking at. The cheapest seat available is almost $300. Like you're
That's crazy.
you're pricing out the middle class.
Yeah,
Give it enough time, and pro wrestling will be what the Coliseum was for Rome, meant for the rich and wealthy.
yeah. And this is the thing is like you continue, and then you gotta think about it. It's $300 per ticket, so now you're at $1,200. Plus, you're gonna go get drinks. You're gonna get merchandise, right? Merchandise is already high. Like, let me be fair, right? And I only bring this up in the aspect of like I went to Kendrick Lamar's concert in Gillette Stadium, right? It was
Oh,
$55 for a T-shirt, like
yeah,
crazy. And
yeah,
to get a hoodie, $130 to get a
yeah.
hoodie. Like, that's insane to me. Mind you, I'm also well aware that, and to those who want to hate. Um, we got the tickets for free. Like, my
Oh,
wife,
yeah.
yeah, my wife had as a good friend. She gave us the tickets and we went and we enjoyed watching Kendrick Lamar. So I will be 100% when I say that. But like, yo, the idea that a t-shirt $55, and I get it, right? It's Kendrick, it's SZA, yeah, DJ Mustard there, right? But $55 for a t-shirt is crazy to me. And then a hoodie, right? And I see all the people walking around with these t-shirts. Like I saw a person working out today with the Kendrick t-shirt, and I just looked at him, and I was just like, "You rich bitch." That's all I got to myself because it's like,
Now,
dude, it's like this
to be
fucking girl walking in with this t-shirt.
to be fair in her defense, because I did this when I went and saw Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper last year. The shirts were $55, like you were saying, and 130 for a hoodie. If you wait until after the show and find that guy in the parking lot, 9 times out of 10, those shirts are half price.
Yeah,
Just
it's
saying.
$20, bro. That's my point. Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. I saw a dude walking around with the t-shirt that was just like Kendrick shirt. I was like, damn, bro, I want to get that $20 shirt.
Yeah, there you
Like,
go.
that's yo, and I thought about it too, because like the idea that, like, when we look at like indie wrestling, right? Like, even last night, man, I was at in WWE. I was selling t-shirts for $25. You know what I mean? And those were my shirts, right? And I get it. My name's not Kendrick Lamar. My name's not, you know, Jacob Fatu, right? It's not. But like, yo, I just think like wrestling is meant for the people. Like, it was a thing. It was a carnival thing that was meant for people to entertain. And so like to tell that only certain people can come enjoy this entertainment and you got to pay this amount of money to get there is fucking crazy to me. And I'm like, yo, TKO, like, get your shit together, bring those ticket sales back down. Like, I get it. Your job, you just paid a whole bunch of money for WWE, and your job is to get hand over money, like fists over money, right? Just grabbing all the green. But Jesus, bro, like, you're just exploiting fans at this point, and it's
Oh, my.
ridiculous to me. It's just so stupid. I'm just like, I'm not here for it anymore. I'm like, we need to draw a line about like how what we're presenting, because pretty soon, like, these kids, man, they're gonna be watching these guys, and sure, you might sell out a state, you might sell out like a little arena, right? You might have 19,000 people packed, but how many tickets did you get for free? Because because people couldn't pay for them. Like, again,
What
CM Punk
contract
talked about
money
it,
are
right?
you?
Yeah, I was like, I'm thinking about CM Punk talking about go ahead and headline a night four of a buy one get one half off pay
Yeah,
per view seat. I mean, it's crazy to me. That's all I'm thinking about. What's your final thought?
do better. Do better. Don't count out your middle class.
Yeah, it's literally the backbone of the
Yeah.
WWE. Yeah. So he said, Chaz said, "Yeah, I rolled my eyes." He was talking about, yeah, we were talking about, fuck, what were we talking about that he rolled his eyes on? It was one of the, Gabe Kid situation.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I didn't see that so much before. I see your point talking about, what we talk about.
TKO.
Yeah, TKO. I get your point, but I completely disagree,
Of
according to
course you would.
Chaz. Yeah, well, you ain't up here to argue that point.
I yeah, you want to debate me? Come up here and debate me.
Uh, I don't take any. It don't take anything away from the action though. It does though. So we're talking about the big logo in the center ring. It really does though. Because when I'm watching matches and I look down, I happen to see like, and I'm not saying it's a Bud Light logo, right? But if I just see a giant logo, but I'm looking at the logo, I'm not really paying attention much to the action
The,
unless it's Rhea Ripley. I'll be fair,
mhm,
or
mhm.
Bianca Belair. I'll be fair.
I mean,
Yeah.
you ain't wrong. I'm just
Nope.
saying, like, it the thing that gets me so much about like the logos in the middle of the ring, and let's talk about Prime. Prime is 9 times out of 10 that biggest fucking logo in the middle of the fucking ring. So not only do I have that I'm staring at, right out of the right side of the ring in the corner is a giant ass neon Prime bottle. Like,
Yeah.
come the fuck on. Get your hydration station and fuck off.
Well, like even the last one, right, was just on Monday night. It was Doom because they're
Yeah,
promoting a new Doom game.
yeah.
So I mean, like at some point, it's ridiculous. Like it's not necessary. It doesn't have to be there. So we can always do like we can figure something else. Like you want to promote the game, cool. Like promote the game on the side screens, right, on those LEDs. If you want to, whatever. But it's just dead center in the middle of the ring. It's a distraction to me. And and Gunther said it best, right, man? Like the ring is sacred. Like
Yeah.
keep it that way. Um, Celebrities is what makes it mainstream.
And I don't disagree with you. I just don't need Jelly Roll showing up at the Royal Rumble doing a half-ass choke slam just because they felt like doing it that day.
I can't agree with that. That was a beautiful choke slam.
Fuck. No. 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 I'm not mad at you, Cliff. I'm just disappointed.
I mean, I get that part, but I mean, like, there's also, I think just the celebrities kind of like we said, we touched on it. Just seeing at the PLEs, at the big events. I think that's what matters, and that's what keeps it cool because that's when you're gonna get your most eyes on the product. Me watching week 12 of the year, I don't care that Macaulay Culkin is there. I just don't care. I don't care on Raw. Like, they're in Nebraska. They're in Omaha, right? And they were doing Pat McAfee was doing his speech. Matt Rule was there, okay? The head coach of the Huskers. Nobody gave a fuck. I'm a Huskers fan. I'll be real.
Sorry.
Didn't really care. And also, the star quarterback is on the team too for Nebraska. Guess what? Nobody cared. Nobody cared. Like it's like you just grab the local celebrities from the area, you just put them up there. I'm like, whatever, bro. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. And that's what I'm saying. Like it just doesn't. It's not relevant. Like unless you're getting somebody huge, like some big, you know, star that like fucking I don't know, Matthew McConaughey. You know, there in the background. Cool.
Tom Cruise.
Like
Yeah, I
Tom
get what you're
Cruise.
saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Nobody like not that would knock him, but nobody would care if Gary V is in the back. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're great on YouTube, you're a big entrepreneur, you have a great wine company, but nobody cares in the back. No one gives a shit. No, nobody cares. So that's where I get it. Then Chad said, bro, Trump has a whole entrance at the UFC all the time.
I get what you're saying with this. My retort to that is you're comparing celebrities versus the president of the United States. Like, I get what you're saying, though.
But it was even like even
Before,
before he got reelected, like it was
yeah, no,
like,
yeah, that's what I'm. Currently, he is the president of the United States,
no.
but no, I get what he's saying wholeheartedly.
But also, like to be fair, like again, it goes back to what we're saying, right? They're at these big UFC fights. Like I don't see Trump going to UFC on ESPN 15, right? Or UFC
Right,
on
right.
you're not seeing him on there. You're just seeing
at big events.
Yeah, UFC 330. Oh, here comes President Trump. Oh, walking down. Like no one cares. No one cares. Here, UFC on ESPN Plus. Like no one cares. No one. He's not there. UFC in Dubai. Guess who's not there? He ain't there. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like he's only at big events, and I think that's what matters. Like sure, like at those other events like UFC on ESPN, we'll call it ESPN Plus, right? You'll see your random celebrity. You might see like a Mike Tyson show up, right? You might see like those you'll see those guys, but as far as like big name, like Dwayne Johnson does not go to every single UFC event. Like we're not watching him do that, and that man is on the board of TKO.
Yeah,
So it should tell you something about like how he treats that whole scenario. Um, Listen, so we've already done Push and Barry, we've done Temp Check, we've actually did Damien's Dumbass of the Week. We're gonna jump into this third debate topic because it is going to be another good one that we're feeling. So TNA NXT is still continuing doing their crossover. We just had Nikita actually just jump over. How are we feeling about these crossovers so far?
I like them.
Yeah,
I like seeing the different matchups. For example, WrestleMania, Randy Orton, Joe Hendry. We wouldn't have got that if it wasn't for this TNA crossover.
yeah,
There are pros and cons of it. Obviously, sooner or later, I feel like it's going to be sooner. I feel like we're going to end up with a certain someone on WWE TV. Uh, but for the most part, yeah, I'm liking it. I kind of wish there was a little bit more, a little more. I
hmm
This is something that I would like to see as a Survivor Series match, honestly.
I feel
Uh,
you on that.
but yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far.
I'm gonna be fair, bro. I wish there'd be more TNA WWE crossovers and not NXT. I feel like what's happening is we're seeing like you're you're seeing like these big TNA stars, right? Come over to WWE and WWE's like, well, NXT it is.
For
Like,
NXT, for you,
yep, NXT for you. Moose, you will wrestle Obafemi in NXT. Like, and don't get me wrong, fire match. But when I'm thinking about the TNA championship, I'm not thinking you're equivalent to NXT's championship. Like, I'm
no,
just not.
no.
So I mean, especially with the names of people who've held that title between like Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy and Ric Flair and Jesus Sting, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and you mean to tell me
Yeah,
that those names are equivalent to Obafemi and Trick Williams and you know what I mean? Like,
but we
chill
put
out.
AJ Styles up there as one of the greatest of all times,
What I'm saying. That's what I'm
right?
saying. So and he held that title at one time, right?
Yep.
And we consider him to be one of the greatest of all times, and he's he's nowhere in that category. So I was like, I don't think that I want to see, and I get it. Joe Hendry did his match with Randy and at WrestleMania, so you could be like, well, there it was. That's the crossover. Like that's what we're getting. Like that's the best. That's all we're gonna do, right? And I don't even want necessarily the one who shall not be named. I don't want her on WWE TV, right? But I think Jordan Grace could have had a better run on the main roster versus going to NXT and then working her way up. I understand why they wanted her to do that, right? To learn the WWE system. I just don't like that she's there.
I feel like that's why we're not getting the main roster crossovers. I feel like that's why we're only getting the NXT crossovers because, like, okay, you can wrestle. You have TNA style of wrestling locked down. Now let us show you our style, and this
Yeah,
is how we do things. Like, I just, I would love to see more. I would love to see The Miz versus Joe Hendry. I think that would be fucking fire. Uh, but I kind of get it. It's WWE being like, okay, that's how you do it, but we'd like to do it our way.
I feel you. But I mean, I want to see Eddie Edwards, right? Like in the main roster going against like Montez Ford. I don't want to see Eddie Edwards versus like I don't know. We'll throw a name out. Wesley, and like one because we've already seen that match, but two, Wesley is on NXT. Like
Yeah,
I want to see them on the main. I want them to be treated like the main roster stars that they are. That's what
yeah,
I want.
I agree
You
with
know.
that.
So that's my biggest problem with the whole crossover right now. Um, Especially with like Moose, right? Like we talk about, and I get it. Everybody has their feelings about how they feel about him, whether it's on the personal side of things. But like, like here's this man who he was the X Division champion. He was also TNA heavyweight champion, and he's not good enough to wrestle your top talent on TV. But he was in a ring with Kenny Omega, like, and some people at the time would consider Kenny to be the greatest wrestler of like the year, and he
Yeah,
was in the ring with him, hanging and banging. So I was like, I don't understand what the problem. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure it all out, and I don't like that we're not getting those dream matchups. You know,
but we're getting NXT
but
matchups.
we're getting NXT matchups because it's gonna really piss me off is when Nick Nemeth or Mustafa Ali get asked to do a crossover and they get put on NXT.
Man, the disrespect.
Yeah, and I'll be like, word, this is how we're treating them. Like these are main roster. These are the dudes that are on the main roster, mid card, but they were regardless on the main roster, and they could have done more, but WWE chose not to. Like Mustafa Ali versus Randy Orton was a fire ass match. Why can't we get it back? You know,
Uh, because they're pissed off at Mustafa Ali.
doesn't change what I said.
Oh, I don't disagree.
Although Mustafa Ali or Randy Orton wasn't weighing 290, 6'7" and almost 50. This man is a whole hoss, bro. Just don't.
Bro,
Man.
that man is a brick shit house.
I just love the fact that John Cena referred to him as Batista. They're like him and Batista switch bodies.
Bro, it's seriously like they did, because holy shit.
Yeah, wilding out is a wildest thing to me. All right, well, final thoughts on this subject.
Give me the main roster crossovers. Make this a Survivor Series match.
I'd like to see that.
That would be dope.
You know what's weird though, man? I want to see. It's gonna sound crazy when I say this. I want to see. I want to see a crossover. This is how I want to see this crossover work out. It's gonna sound wild when I say this. I want a Survivor Series tournament. I want a Survivor Series tournament, and here's what I want. I want Raw and SmackDown, NXT. I want any Japan Fed that you're working with. I don't care who it is. Dragon Gate, whatever. AAA, TNA. And then you run a Survivor Series match that way. Survivor Series tournament that way.
I like that. My only issue with that is it. You're gonna have so much favoritism, and
Oh,
WWE's not gonna want to lose their own PLE.
no. And they're not going to. And that's the thing. I would almost expect SmackDown to win, but also not to be funny, what kind of if depending on where the tribal chief goes, I would expect that show to win. So
Yeah.
probably Raw. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Uh,
yeah, 100%, bro. Like but I mean just think about like the and I guess we'd have to find like 8 teams. So we'd do like 8 shows. I mean you could do Evolve. I
you
guess you could
could,
do
you
Evolve
could.
Survivor Series, and then one of the big shows gets upset. So whatever show that Roman Reigns is not on, that gets upset.
Oh,
So
of
like
course,
SmackDown gets upset by like NXT. You know what I
bro.
mean?
The disrespect.
Like whatever. I mean NXT smoked them the last time they were on the show.
They
So
did.
I
They
mean, it makes
did.
sense. So I mean, but I mean, think about it. Like then, you have TNA like knockoff, like the Japan show, right? We'll call it We'll use Dragon Gate, knocks off Dragon Gate, and then you do like also at that point, like it would be like Raw, let's say Raw. We use NXT, Raw versus NXT, and then you would do uh, Raw eventually would take on TNA for like top brand, and then at that point, like you need the tribal chief to win, so you eliminate him first. and then from there it's mayhem after that. But I think this would be a cool idea. Listen, I'm giving you fire ideas. Use it.
Bro, we know you watch.
We know you watch the show, bro. We know you watch the shows. So yes, you have all these shows. I don't even care if you put a main event roster together. Just Karrion Cross could be the leader of the main event. But
I'm here for it.
let me get it on the men's side. Let me get it. In the women's, you can have like, you know, Team Rhea versus Team Io Sky. I don't really care.
Right.
At that point, I just want to see. But I just think it was just so fire to have. I mean, you're utilizing all the talent at that point, and you're putting on a big show, and I think that would be fun. Especially if you're planning on doing like a 2-night SummerSlam and a 2-night Royal Rumble and a 2-night WrestleMania, and you're gonna do a 2-night Survivor Series, why not?
God, don't put the 2-night Royal Rumble in the air, because now it's going to be
It's
in
already
Saudi
there, bro.
Arabia.
They're already talking about it.
It's going to be in Saudi Arabia, and it's going to be 14 hours long. And
I mean, we're gonna get two Royal Rumble winners. You know what? I thought about this, and we'll talk about this too. There was something that was really kind of funny where they were talking about it's almost disrespectful to the Royal Rumble winner to have the Elimination Chamber right after. Like, because it's almost like it doesn't matter.
the
To-
Royal. Go ahead.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because the Royal Rumble winner, like, sure, he gets a title shot, but whoever wins the Elimination Chamber gets a title shot too.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I kind of like heard their point, and I kind of felt like where they were coming from, but it was like, and their suggestion, their solution was to have the two battle out, and then the winner gets to pick who he wants to face as the champion.
That makes sense.
But then the backside of it is that, and this was the point that they brought up, that you would end up having like a 1B, you know what I mean, like a number one, a 1B contender, and then that means that championship is the second championship that he didn't win, so he didn't get to pick that champion, so he went that route.
Yeah. The Royal Rumble used to mean something. And I feel like that time has come and gone because of Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
I'm not saying get rid of Elimination Chamber. Maybe do it earlier in the year, like before the Royal Rumble.
I think Elimination Chamber needs to be moved to July.
To July, okay.
And here's why. So July, you have the Elimination Chamber, and that number one contender in the Elimination Chamber takes on a champion of their choosing at SummerSlam.
That's where I figured you were going with this.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm not against that.
Because then you still have the Money in the Bank winner in May. You have now your Royal Rumble winner in January going to WrestleMania. Because that was the whole point, was like you got to main event Royal Rumble. Like, you got a title shot, which means that you were going to main event. And I thought it was just crazy that the main event of this year's the main event of WrestleMania was John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Let's be fair, that was one, right? But it was also CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins instead of Jay and Gunther, who, Jay won. And for years, you'd been telling us that the winner of the main event the winner of the Royal Rumble goes on to main event WrestleMania. So that no longer matters.
Yeah.
So at this point, I kind of feel like, just move the Elimination Chamber to another month. I say July, so that SummerSlam can be that show. And then,
I respect that actually a lot.
Yeah, and then you throw another PLE in there, like, I don't know, Roadblock or whatever you want.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Capital bragging rights.
Capital punishment.
Capital punishment. Great balls of fire. Whatever.
December to dismember.
Yeah. Was it St. Valentine's Massacre? That what it
Oh
was?
God, yeah.
Fuck it. You know what? In your house.
Bring back Judgment Day.
Bring back Judgment Day. Bring back In Your House. How about that one? Yes, there we go. Armageddon has to come back. Was also random one name pay per views was there that I
No
don't know.
Mercy.
No Mercy,
No Way Out.
No Way Out. Yeah. What was the one they did in they did it in they tried it in Seattle. It was like one of Daniel Bryan's last matches.
Oh,
It had a footprint. If you know, just type it in the comments.
yeah.
It had a footprint. That was the whole point. I don't remember. It was something crazy. Whatever. We call it. Hey, yo, bring back Stampede.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, bring back bring Starcade.
Bash at the Beach.
Bash at the Beach. Well, I wouldn't do the beach show in February. That would be ridiculous.
I mean, it depends on where you're at. February is kind of nice down here.
Yeah. I mean, I feel you, but that's wild now. Anyway, yeah, I'm thinking about other shows that I could do like that too. That'd be wild. But there we go. So you know what I mean? Move the show, and then we can have a whole bunch of fun with it.
Rumble will mean something again.
Yo, let's read this up, and then we'll bounce. Seeing what Chaz has to say. He's over here, crash out Chaz on his X account.
On Tweaker.
He really is. All right, so with the latest polls, okay, and we started this a while ago, so it's good that this has been up for almost an hour. All right, Damien's dumbass of the week. We have a 3-way tie.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, 33% of it goes to Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
All this because of Hooters. 33% of it goes to Dominic Mysterio. You don't know what a fucking time zone is, idiot. And last but not least, the other 33%.
Tell me, Tony Khan.
Damien Fatale.
Tony gets a pass this week.
Tony gets a pass this week. So there's our three winners in a 3-way tie.
Man.
I don't even feel bad.
That's funny. Damien's in good company, I guess.
Yeah, he can have fun. Have fun with the people that he's with. Yeah, so that does it for this show. Twitch, you got anything you want to throw?
While you're at it, make sure you head over to foryourwear.com and ProWrestlingTees.com. Make sure you buy all of our merchandise as well as Red Dogs and your PI merchandise.
Yeah. Also, before we shoot off the air and we say goodbye, check us out. Spotify. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on all of our social media platforms at 3 Count Pod, or if you're on the Bird app, right? 3 Count Pod _. To my Xbox users, you guys get an achievement. To my PlayStation users, you guys get a trophy. And to my PC users, continue making your money, because we know you're just paying for your better upgrades and whatever. Last but not least, again, if you guys can, go out your way. Shoot your love, your prayers, your thoughts, everything to Anthony, a.k.a. El Diabito, a.k.a. Lou, the franchise, a.k.a. the man who grows a fro and knows that he can't have more than 4 kids, or whatever he says. Or Lord knows he needs no more, or whatever.
Oh, Jesus.
Go out there. Show him your love. Show him your support. And with that being said, we out. Peace. Kawaii. What's up? It is your friendly neighborhood Red Dog, and thank you for checking out this episode of the 3 Count Podcast. Whether that was Chaz friends, Red Dog friends, Damien friends, the Film Styles, now into the ring, now entering 201, or now returning to the ring, all those good episodes. You should really be liking, commenting, and even sharing this with your friends, family, whatever it may be. But what you all should be doing is checking us out on all of our social media platforms at 3 Count Pod, whether that's on IG, Twitch, you can check us out on Threads, whatever it may be. And if you go check us out on X, it is 3 Count _pod. Check us out on YouTube, as well as Facebook, on Rumble, on Apple Music, on Spotify, all those fun things. Tell your mom about us, your dad about us, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, and your best friends and your enemies, because we love haters too. Do all that stuff, and then last but not least, buy our merch on foryourwear.com or ProWrestlingTees.com. Kawaii.